Hello world, Genergy on the ground, our luminaires. Today it is our little girl's turn. This model so versatile, so portable, so light. Let's talk about its characteristics before continuing with our little one. Here's a reflection from Fran. Today it seems that adults are in possession of the truth. We are the important people in the world, the executives, the drivers, the plane pilots, the armies are the big guys, and there are some dwarfs, some babies. Our little children who are in this world, you don't know when they are small. For what? Look, they spend the day attracting attention, teaching us how to doodle. Very nice, but no. Of course, I am very important. Look at this imaginary world. If we did what I think about these things, that child, that baby, I'm going to ask him today what shirt I wear with these pants, this or that. And let her or her decide what shirt his father wears or what tie or what shoe he makes that decision in the kitchen. What food that is the other. If he or she makes that decision, if he or she travels, vacations, makes that decision, is a participant in all those small issues. If he or she knows what all that costs, what is called a quality bond would be created, and of course he would know that we are his parents. Would he know when we're saying no to him? Why are we telling him and explaining it to him? Why would we be creating responsible people who know how to say no? And when adolescence arrives, they will know how to say no, or yes, they will have their own responsibility. They are used to making decisions since they were little. They have a quality bond called father and mother. That phrase that I am a friend of my children. Never that. Why? Because when you're friends with your son, your daughter, you just become an orphan. Friends are something else. Parents are much more important than friends. Friends are friends and parents are parents. So the best inheritance we can give our children would be that quality bond. The best inheritance is the love that we can leave him. The rest is useless. I leave it there just in case. We keep going. Look, today I want to talk to you about this small unit, a unit that weighs, well, about 4 kg. But the lighting power it has is truly awesome. It can go up to 12,000 lumens. 12,000. Watch out, because that's a lot. In fact, we can try it here. A little so that we can see the power it is capable of giving. Okay, there I would be in a, shall we say, weakness. See where this unit can go. I'm sorry, I hadn't noticed dazzling the camera, but it really is. That is, the lighting power it has is a lot. We may be using it in an electrical repair, in a welding repair, at night in a fire department breakdown, special units that need lighting, or also in your leisure time. I feel like doing an alfresco dinner in a tent, camping in a motorhome. They are units of this type, units that you can carry it around. it has been adding remotely. I have a remote control that reaches up to 38 petals, which I can handle, and it also has a 180-degree rotation. There we see it rotating up, down in that rotation. Okay, and it also has a rotation. I put it on top here so you can see it better. A 360-degree rotation. Look at it. It is capable of making a complete turn. It expects that I have to move it up. That's fine, and that's where it has a rotation. And it has a full 360-degree rotation. There we are seeing her turning her head completely for illumination towards the direction you want. Why is that not so important? Because this unit has a magnetic base, meaning I can have it stuck to a wall and I have to be directing the focus to my work moment. I'm going to advance at work and I'm going to move the remote to the next work position. It is a unit, as I say, super versatile, portable, and that is going to get us out of a lot of trouble. Lighting time, depending on what we use. If we are using lighting of about 1200 lumens, we could reach 19 hours. If it is 6500 luminous, then approximately 4 hours. Of course, if I use the 12,000 luminous, that is its maximum lighting power, I will be working for about 2 hours. Let us not forget that we are dealing with a unit that makes no noise, that has no emissions. I mean, it's absolutely green. We are facing a unit of this category. You know, one thing, taking advantage of the fact that I have it here, that I have the remote control. I think that what we are going to do now in a moment, because the afternoon is falling right now, we are going to go into the dark to ask a neighbor to let us in, and we are going to have a real experience. About that darkness, about a dashboard, about something we'll see. We are going to improvise, but we will really see that the lighting experience, okay, I'm telling you something else. Look at the console, the same thing I have on the controller, I have it here. The remote is now on. Here you turn it off so it doesn't use up the battery. Also, the remote is magnetic. I can stick it anywhere. And here I have the console, just like I have it on the controller. Here I have the socket to hook an external lighting socket, that is power socket. Excuse me, seeing a power station, seeing a generator to keep the lighting on indefinitely as long as the power supply is there. The battery charge, look, we take it out this way. Here is the battery. Okay, here we would be with the battery in our hand, and this is the charger where simply by doing this gesture, I already have the battery recharging. There I have it recharging. Here we see that it has 2 charging units and is finishing off the last one. That is somewhat unloaded, but it is practically loaded. We can charge 2 batteries at once because the batteries we can have are unlimited, so I can go. Placing cartridges as I spend cartridges. Really, please, it is a unit that does not need trailers or cranes to carry. But that does not do an exquisite job. Well, up to this point, we are going to do the experience and we really see what lights up at night. As you can see, we are completely in the dark. They let us in here in what they call the lighthouse, which means to light. A team to do a job, okay? That is, we could now be making a repair here in the panel. We can move our head, as you can see. And we could be, because manipulating, there is no light. The light has gone. There is a breakdown, and we can be here manipulating. Because the electrical panel, that is this, could be one of the uses of this very portable equipment. Well, that's the lightest model we have, but that doesn't mean it's less powerful. We can move the head both left and right, okay? And we can either raise it, as I say, okay, or lower it to orient it right where we want to be. Okay, let's see other work scenes, because another scene that can also start in the dark would be, well, the opening of a door, a locksmith, etc. Look at you. The unit in this case, since it has a magnetic base, it's okay that here I have it in my hand. It's, as I say, always very light because we can stick it there on the door and I'm ready to do the job, huh? This locksmith will be able to open this door that has broken the key, whatever it is, to open it completely in the dark. Well, this unit being so portable, so light, with a huge focus, well, it would be doing this job. All right, well, this is another scene that can happen very surely. Okay, let's go get more examples of this type. Well, another scene that can start in the dark is a repair, an accident, something that happens on the road. We have our little flashlight, well, Fireflies from Firefly, that we can place it. Thank you, magnetic base, on a kind of work like this that we're seeing here. Okay. We raise our heads and give it, well, the intensity we need because we have a breakdown. So whatever a mechanic is, also a crane. We may be driving a car, making a repair, changing a battery on the road, etc. Well, it gives us the freedom, as I say, to be anywhere. Move your head this way, that way, lower it or raise it, okay? With the idea of seeing what we want, the work we want to do. Well, this would be another very, very logical and very normal scene. Let's see another one. Let's do a range test because we have already seen what it is capable of lighting, but what happens in the distance. Look. Okay, there it is, lighting from a distance. That is, it reaches, as we can see, quite far. Okay, here we are on an embankment and I can see, I don't know if the camera can see as far as I can see, but maybe it can reach, I don't know, 500 meters, that is lala. The power it has for range is also a lot, okay? That's where we see how far it goes. That is to say, it also has a very, very decent range power if you can't ask for more. It's a real gem, a wonder. Look at the grove that I'm lighting up. It makes a close-up here, camera here to the grove there. Well, to the grove, to the chumba fig tree here, look. Realize what illuminates the lighting capacity that this device has. Our Fly, our Firefly. All right? Come on, it's proven. Well, and another way of using this Firefly, well, it may be what we have here, which would be, well, that collect in the field. It's worth a very normal situation that a farmer could be collecting, perhaps tending to livestock, etc., etc. Well, here we see perfectly that I could be here picking fruit from here. It's not worth that these are figs, which, by the way, if there were any ripe ones, look delicious. Well, what's up? Well, what? As you can see, I can turn my head to one place to another. That is, if I am collecting, I can go to the place I want to light. As you can see, the light power is a lot to be working, or for whatever reason, I don't know, everyone will imagine where they are going to use it. Something as wonderful as this Firefly would be in Spanish this portable fly that, as we see, can reach up to 12,000 lumens, and illuminate the night of a work X. Well, so far we have shown several scenarios that, as you can see, is useful for those scenarios, but there are many more. And surely you, in your work, in your daily life, come up with many ways of use, motorhomes, etc., etc. I'll leave it there. We are going to continue, and this lighting power is already presented, because in the dark night ahead, more information and energy, yes, on these pages you are seeing. Here you can find all the technical sheets of our luminaires. This is going to save us, knowing well what each of them does. It will save us from that darkness to choose the element, the unit that you need for your work, whether construction, public works, road work. We have for everyone, and by the way, none of our units need special transportation. All can be moved by a single person and placed in the workplace without problems. The ones that are heavier, what would this model that we are seeing here in presence look like? Well, they even lead to electric lifting, so that we do not have to make an effort to raise a tower that reaches up to 5 meters. That is lighting for any type of work. And a little advice: when you have doubts, when you don't know what to choose, contact us. There on the website you are seeing the contact part, our email, our telephone number at your disposal, and forbidden stop learning.